come by here.
Really?
He
You should
said,
come.
he says, I don't want to come to your yoga party. I said, it's not a yoga party.
Yeah, no.
So you might learn something if you come.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Ilan, Ben worked here. Remember that? I didn't want to be scared. They're real close.
Okay.
No, todavía no.
It's going to last about, I don't know how long. Okay. Welcome to our first posture party since COVID. So, basically what I like to do is share stuff that I do and stuff that works for me. I firmly believe that I don't tell anybody to do anything or take anything unless I personally do it myself and I've tested it myself and I know that it works. So, a little bit about me. I finished school in '98, and that summer I actually fell in love with a drug called ecstasy. Anybody done ecstasy?
Sounds familiar.
It's awesome. And so I got out of school and I couldn't get my license because I beat up a cop when I was in chiropractic school and I went to county jail for a couple weeks. And so apparently the chiropractic board frowns on that kind of activity. And so when I got out of school, they wouldn't give me my license. And so I had to work under, hi, welcome. I had to work under someone else. You want to get a little, someone else's license. And I was adjusting like 100 people a day. I was miserable. I was blowing my shoulders out. And then, I'd go out. I was stressed out, and I'd go out and get shit-faced drunk. And that was my way to release stress from my body. And then I'd be all recharged and ready to go Monday again. And then, after a few months, it starts to get old. And one of my friends, he gave me a little pill. I'm like, what's this? He's like, bro, he's Armenian. He's like, bro, just fucking take it.
Yeah, chill out.
Yeah. And so I took it. I was like, oh, this is amazing. And it was ecstasy. And then, like, all of a sudden, I stopped drinking alcohol, and all we did is this drug. And to make a long story short, over the 1 year, I basically went from taking it recreationally 1 day a week to selling it, quitting my chiropractic job, and I'm like, I don't need chiropractic, there's no money in it anyway. I was making way more money doing ecstasy. He was there.
I'm not arguing here.
At the tail end of it. And then, and finally it started snowballing and getting bigger and bigger. And, I actually had a couple other chiropractic friends that weren't doing chiropractic, and all my friends were doing ecstasy, and then we're doing GHB, which is made out of photo developer, ketamine, which is cat tranquilizer. Then we went into cocaine, crystal meth. Anything else I missed? That's about it.
Heroin?
I never did heroin because it looks way too good. I was like, I better stop there. Yeah. No, weed, I like to go fast. I don't like to slow down. So it ended up where I was selling, I'd go out to the clubs and I'd sell 10 or 20. And everything to me seemed normal. It was just seemed like a transition where nothing seemed abnormal because it was slow and it was common and everybody around me was doing it. And we would take Mondays off from doing drugs, but we did like 6 days a week for almost 2 years. And eventually I'm selling thousands of pills at a time called boatloads. And I sold 9,000 pills to this guy in Milwaukee, and I had 63,000 in cash, which is like, it's a big stack of cash like this. I used to just put it in my shoes and go through the airport, but then this one I was like, that can't fit in my shoes, so I put it in a FedEx box thinking I was slick. I was working at GNC, and I flew, I was managing a GNC somehow, I don't know, and I flew back and I intercepted it. I got my FedEx box. I opened it, and it was copy paper. So I was like, holy shit, because my drug dealer, he fronted it all to me, and like 6,000 of it was mine or something. I owed him 53,000, and so they threatened to kill me. Had a gun to my head. They burned my feet, put needles through my shins, tortured me. They had like the kit that I was like, is that real? I'm like, I guess so. And so I paid it back in 3 months. I just started selling drugs like crazy. I forgot we're recording this. Maybe this shouldn't be recording. Okay, we're streaming live. Hey, chiropractic board. Hope you're not watching.
What was the paper? Who with the
I
paper?
don't know. FedEx. I was like kicking myself. I shouldn't have used Federal Express. I should have used UPS. But I ended up hustling. I paid back the 57,000 and 53,000 in 3 months. I went to go do one more. My dealer got locked up. He was gone. The guy I sold it to got locked up. He was gone. The next week, our house got raided by the DEA, and I didn't have anything. My wife's like, okay, maybe you should be a chiropractor. I'm like, that sounds like a good idea. so I got my license 2 years after I finished chiropractic school. So really, I've been practicing since 2000. And there's no way I feel like I've been put here for there's no way I was saved for no reason. I believe something happens for a reason, and I feel like I'm here to bring a message of, especially in these times, how to get this body healthy and how to keep it healthy. And as all of us we're like-minded, you know, we're on the healthier side. We're not afraid of what's going on because we trust that. Like, there's nothing else I can do to get healthy. Like, I do everything I can. So if I get wiped out by a virus, you know, that's the way it goes. It's not going to happen. But so I'm going to kind of go over in chiropractic. And so, like, I got into chiropractic also because, like, the guy I was seeing had an airplane and a Mercedes. I was like, oh, that's awesome. So I didn't know nothing about what chiropractic is. And chiropractic is really, nothing has changed in it. It started in 1895, yikes. And all chiropractors do is they adjust the spine, stimulate the nervous system, feed it right, exercise. That's it. Nothing changes. And that's all the body really needs for it to heal and function at optimal levels. But the problem is these days, there's so much outside interference messing with that process of healing, like sitting at a desk, driving, smog, negative people everywhere right now. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like government, like there's so much stress and bad stuff on us. The food, like this stuff, you know, it's like everything can cause problems to this body and wreak havoc. And everybody has a problem with one of the T's. So there's trauma, there's toxins, and there's thoughts. Trauma is like sitting on your laptop, you know, or a car accident, or doing something physically wrong to your body. Toxins is what I did to myself, putting drugs and plus, like, I put so much drugs in my body, like, there's no way COVID can kill me. I should have been dead a long time ago. Like, I think that built my system up. And then, not advocating drugs, but, you know, toxins, like stuff like this. And the last thing is thoughts. Thoughts can hit you where your weak link is. And 80% of heart attacks happen Monday morning. That's not because it's a coincidence everybody's arteries block on Monday morning. That's because people hate their jobs and they're going to work and then they die. So that's what we're going to talk about a little bit. And so the first thing we're going to talk about is welcome. You just missed my whole life story. No big deal. First thing is, the first thing we do with people that come in the office is we got to stop doing what's hurting you. You know, it doesn't matter what stretches you do or this or that or chingas, like this. Is that a Spanish word? Chinga? Chingas?
Yeah,
Kind of?
not chingas.
Chinga?
Chingadera.
Chingadera, things like this. You know, like that stuff doesn't do nothing if you don't do the two things you do the most right. So I know what most people do, or they're supposed to do, is they're supposed to sleep comfortably. That's when the body repairs itself. And all of my patients, we always start with teaching them how to back sleep, which is nearly impossible for people. So, who likes to side sleep or stomach sleep? Yeah, and that's fine. But the problem is your shoulder's going to be all messed up in the morning, and your hand's going to fall asleep, and your hip's going to hurt, and then yeah, well, that's so comfortable, and then an hour later, oh, it hurts. Okay, let me go this way. Oh, yeah, and look, side sleeping is so comfortable. Oh, and then it hurts, and then you're like this, and you're not really sleeping. Like I fall asleep on my back, and I wake up on my back. Like, well, I'm like, oh, I get out of bed, I'm like, oh, feels like I stretched already. Do I even need to do anything? So, side sleeping.
Okay.
You want to?
Okay.
Let's do this.
Gotta
Okay.
call it.
So, here, on your back first. So, first thing we do, worst thing you could do, put a pillow behind your head. It only takes 6 minutes of doing
Okay.
that, and your body starts to mold to it. So, best thing to do, get that pillow up under that neck so the head is sitting there almost all the way back touching the bed. 20 minutes, that's all you got to do, because this trains your brain to know which position is comfortable. Also, if you're not used to back sleeping, also, you feel how there's a little pressure in your lower back right now? So what we do is you put your feet up like this, flatten the back, it's gone. Now to keep it like that, you get the biggest pillow, probably the one you used to use up here, and then it goes under your calf muscles like this. I don't like if we took our shoes off, you'll see her feet are not touching. I don't like my feet touching because your heels stick out more. And if your feet are being pushed against the mattress, your feet are gonna hurt in the morning. Like you ever get that and you wake up and you're like, and like this, that's because your feet there's an abnormal pressure on your foot, either from the heel or your blanket is doing this.
Yes.
And pushing your foot down. So feet should be open like this. Plus when your feet and your hands are open, that's where heat comes out of your body and your body needs to drop 2 degrees to fall asleep. So you should always have your hands and feet open. But this is the most vulnerable position. So people hate this because you're just exposed. So here's a little trick. Pillow right there. There you go. How's that feel?
So
How's this feel?
exposed.
Yes. Okay, so just give me 20 minutes like this. And then if you can't sleep, don't try and do this all night because it's more important to sleep than to do it properly. Eventually you'll just end up on your back. So, you can't sleep, you're sitting there staring at the ceiling, and then you're like, okay, I gotta get some sleep. Show me what you do.
So I'll tell you what I do at home. I have these pillows.
And show me.
So
Yes.
and then so this is I'm awake now because now I have to wake up to do all of this.
Totally. Pain in the butt.
It is.
Just stay on your back now.
I know.
Okay.
I know, but
No,
it's
I'm
such
joking.
a habit. So
Okay.
I make sure to do this. Janet
Wait,
taught me.
oh, someone already showed her.
Yeah.
Show me what you used to do.
Oh, okay. What did I used to do?
Baby, there's not enough pillows here.
I know.
Yeah,
She
I
used to
sleep
sleep
with
with
a lot
like
of
5
pillows.
pillows.
So I put one over my head because I have to have a pillow over my head. And I sleep like this.
Okay. Looks familiar, right? Everybody likes to curl up like this. And when that happens, all the nerves get pinched up in your arms. And your wrists hurt, your elbows hurt, your hands fall asleep. The shoulder on the bottom's trashed. And then this hip hurts on the bottom. So the first thing, let's start on the bottom. Let's get rid of, for her, she's little enough, if you snap one side of this, it makes it medium. Then the neck, just to show you, pillows are designed to support the neck. Her neck it's here. So the pillow goes here in the neck. It doesn't go here. Okay? So the pillow goes in the neck here. Just like that. Good. And then this arm, you should be slightly off of it. That's it. There you go. If you like, the hand can go here. What do you do with this arm? because it wants to go
It
here.
does, it's so badly, but what Janet told me is I have to have.
Little armrest right
yeah.
here. There you go. And then big pill. The problem with this, a lot of people do this.
No.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
I
But
fix
the
it
feet
this way.
pit. So the knees and the feet have to be. This all has to be the same height, like that. And now, if you're a stomach sleeper, you can modify it a little bit. Throw you a bone.
I'm not a stomach sleeper.
This. That'll kind of satisfy your stomach sleeping craving. Anybody do that? Like one leg forward?
It's like a somersault.
Yeah. So that'll do the stomach sleeping craving.
Okay.
Thank you for your participation.
You're welcome.
Here's your
Let me exit.
here's your gift. The adjustable good roll. Thank you. Okay,
He's the
good.
winner.
Now, so that's sleeping properly. Really, if you just did that right, you don't have to do nothing else. You can go. Bye. No. Okay. So that's sleep. Now, the other thing we do a lot of is anybody driving. Yeah. But you stand.
Yeah.
Days you don't stand. You
Yeah.
do what?
Sit.
Yes.
Sit down.
How many hours?
4 or 5 hours a day in the car.
Oh, wow. Okay, so have a seat, young lady. Let's show you how to.
Here's my
how to-
actual pillow
Oh,
for my car.
That's
I
actually-
just got a little thingy for the outside. It's actually your pillow.
oh, okay. Like that's genius. Wow. Okay, so go ahead and sit back. Okay, so driving. We're gonna do driving first. Okay, so the worst thing you could do with driving is. Oh wait, it's usually this side.
Yeah, like this.
Yup. Guys trying to look cool do this all the time.
I made myself
So,
used to
and when you do that, it contracts that shoulder up into the neck, makes this arm go numb, messes up your shoulder blade on that side. So, if you want to look cool, just do it at the stop sign. Take off and drive. Hands should always be here. People who drive like this, they did studies that show that their arms get fatigued and they have slower reaction times. So driving like this is not okay unless you're going through a canyon. So arms should always be at the bottom. Just doing that, like I like to set my seat up to where my elbow's actually touching, and I pull the steering wheel back to my hand, and I just drive like this, and it does. It's simple. Same with the other armrest. But most seats in cars are terrible, and they're actually shaped like this. So the arch in your back, everybody's arch is different. Like you see that arch in my back? So this pillow should go right in that arch. In most cars that have a lumbar support, it like pushes you down in your pelvis and your butt bones. It's just not right. So even if you have a lumbar support, like I have a Tesla and it's bad. I have to put this thing in there. So arch in wait. So first, like no, sit right, like yeah, there you go. So you see how her head is like it's kind of pushed forward. Watch when we put the arch in the right place. Arch your back. There you go. There.
Yeah.
Boom. She's like totally sitting up straight now. So that's number one. Don't drive like this. I would even raise your rear view mirror up just a tiny bit because we like to you like to do this even a little bit. So raise that side view mirror up so when you're sitting up straight you can see out the back. And then if you slump you can't see. So the last thing, people who drive a lot have right hip problems. And the main reason that's happening is because this foot that pushes the gas is in a shoe that is completely round right here, and then the foot does this when they're driving. And then that hip's gonna be all messed up. So I drive no shoe, and I actually put the gas pedal right here. So my big toe actually keeps my foot pointing perfectly straight, and then I drive like this.
With your big toe hanging off.
Yep. I'm driving with these toes right here, and that forces you to keep this leg straight like this. Now if that, and then like I just like that, no sock, nothing, just drive like that, and that'll keep your leg pinned like that.
And what do you do with the other leg? Do you try and elongate it to match this leg on that little holder?
I have 3 different positions in my car. Each day I change the position. So one day I'm ridiculously like this. One day I could barely reach the pedal, and then one day is like your comfortable one that you have. And you know, I use the autopilot on my car as much as possible.
Yeah.
When I'm in traffic, I don't even touch any of the pedals. I just sit here like this, and it's completely comfortable. Oh, can you get an arch? Por favor. And so that's sitting in the car. Now, the other thing that we like to do a lot when we get home and you want to chill. Yeah, show me exactly how you do it. There it is. Perfect. See how that's exactly. So now we're going to show you the proper way to slump properly, because even if you're just watching an hour, 6 minutes will mold you into that bad posture. And then you go to get up from this and you're like, oh, and move around a little bit. So the trick is this: you keep your butt right there and you sit up right there. And then you just start piling stuff back here to fill it up to get that arch. Now the problem is, watch this. You're gonna go all the way back. I want her belly stuck like this, but now she's like looking up there. And so she gets that. She gets her all adjustable good roll. Good. I do 2 snaps when I'm on the couch to make it more firm, because it actually fits right. Boom. And then she wants to do that little gangster lean. That's fine. Just make sure you're leaning on something and you're supported. So that's proper slumping on the couch. Just pile whatever you need to. We don't have a house anymore, but when we had a house, we're homeless actually. We live in an RV. So when we had a couch, we had 10 good rolls. We had 5 for our lower backs because we were a family of 5, and we had 5 for our necks. And they're just lined up against the back of the couch. So discounts on 4 or more. So that's how we set up on the car.
So
Now,
how do we know where to put it on our back in the car?
that's a good question. So watch. Everybody has a different arch area. So watch. Arch your back as much as possible. Watch. Stand up and you'll be able to see it. Arch your back as much as possible. And put your arm back there. Wherever the deepest part is, yours is kind of low. That's where it goes right there.
Okay.
So you do it when you're sitting. So if you're sitting, you just sit as straight as you can. Stick your arm back there, and you'll feel where that deep part is. It's a lot higher than everybody knows. So, and then that's for you. Thanks for participating. That's a thoracic arch here that's going to help bend her posture back after her long days in surgery. Right? Surgery?
Yeah.
Okay. Now that's sitting. The other thing we do a lot of, this thing. Anybody work on a laptop? Okay, so same rules apply. Wherever you're sitting, because I know you're not sitting at a desk, or else you probably have a desktop. You want so what you want to do is get that arch in your back, and you can kick back on the couch like this. That's fine, but you want to set it up like this. You want it up higher, as high as you can. Like this is actually still too low for me. So if I was sitting on my couch, I'd actually put it up like this. Like that. I'd hang out. And see, the problem is the elbows now. They're not resting on anything. But good thing I have 10 good rolls. Patent pending. No, and then the elbow has to rest, or else your neck is going to be trashed. You can't type like this. Okay, the elbow's got to rest like this, and you can kick back like this. Even better if you have a real computer like a Mac, you can actually just throw it up onto your Apple TV. No offense. Anybody get pissed off? No. If you got a Mac, we would just throw it up. I would just throw it up onto my Apple TV. Get a wireless keyboard, and I just kick back like this on the couch, and I'm watching the TV while I'm typing. The other way, like for kids that have to do a lot of schoolwork, and they like to do this on their beds, like this. Says anybody got kids that does this? And they're like this, and kids are destroyed. That girl, anybody see that video with the girl with the hand?
Yeah.
She was doing this in bed, 45 minutes, wakes up the next day and her hand is stuck like this. And so this is terrible for your body. But this is actually good for your body. Doing it on your belly like this. A lot of people can't handle this because their lower back will hurt. So if your lower back hurts, stick a good roll right under there, and then you can handle this. This actually strengthens the muscles in the neck to help pull the head back. And we never use these muscles, ever. So this is another great way. Our kids, they're not allowed to go on tablets unless they're on their belly. Even their phones. I won't even let them on their phones unless they're on their stomach. They can never sit and be on their phones or tablets. It's like a rule they're not allowed to do. So, that's the technology demon. And then the last thing is your phone. Phone to face. Where's my phone? I don't even carry it on me because of the Wi-Fi and the damage. Okay, good. So, the last thing is, like, we all work on our phones and we do stuff on our phones. And I tell you to hold it like this, but like it's like after a while your arm gets tired, and then you're like this, and then you're like this, and then you're sucked into Facebook, and half your life is gone. You woke up 10 years later. So if you're on your phone, one arm goes here, drop the elbow on it, and then you could play on it like this. Good. And if you're in the car, just don't do it in the car. So you're like this. Does that look familiar? In Texas, it's the weirdest thing because everybody here, everybody texts like this. That's why like the lights go, and I'm waiting 15 minutes for them to go. In Texas, they just go like this while they're driving. They hold it phone to face. I've never seen anything like it. And they're going 50 miles an hour texting. That's so weird. It's good posture, but it's a little unsafe. So, phone to face. This is the most important thing. And you'd be surprised. I'm never on my phone except to post on Instagram or something. And still, it'll pull like 3 hours of my day when I check my screen time. Kids, the average high school kid is doing 6 hours a day.
Wow.
And I had the girl with the hand. She did. She showed up months ago. And like her hand and her foot was locked up, and I'm like, "What happened?" She's all nothing. I'm like, "Let me see your phone." I grabbed her phone, and she had 8 hours logged on the phone, just playing a game. You know, kids play games on there. It's just that technology will kill you. So that's what not to do, and that's more important than stretching. It's just doing things right, and you'd be amazed if you just start doing stuff right, how much better you'll feel. Now, what do you do if you have some discomfort? Stretching is the worst thing to do when you have pain, because it's like pain it's usually accompanied with inflammation, an inflamed nerve, a muscle that's damaged, and you want to treat painful areas like a bruise. So, would you massage a bruise?
No.
Oh, okay. Would you stretch a bruise? Oh, no. Oh, here, I got a bruise on my eye. Should I put a heat pack on it?
No.
No. Yeah, just ice it. And the pain responds best to movement. So, take your shoes off. You're going to go through every morning, this is what I do. I do not stretch. When I broke that world record for deadlifting, I deadlifted for 20 hours straight.
That's crazy.
1.1 million pounds. I stretched 0. None. I stretched none. All I did was what I'm about to do. And I did it, I did the vibe plate, I did chi machine, I did movement stuff. Movement is more important than stretching because very few people have the mobility and the good frame to be able to stretch and get themselves out of pain. So, shoes off, stand up for me, okay? So you might want to make a little space because this is my joint activation routine. So, I'll stand up here. So the first thing we do is, I keep changing it. So the first thing you do is you go up onto your toes. Okay. Did you hear that? That's what you want to happen. you want to get things to pop. I kind of think of it like a game. Every time I get a thing to pop, that's an injury I just avoided. Because if you go and run on a foot that has a joint that's stuck, you're going to hurt yourself or sprain your ankle or something like that. Well, first thing, get some joints moving. Then you put one foot forward, and keeping the foot flat on the ground, you turn your knee in and out, in and out, in and out. Minimum 3 times. I like to do about 12. In and out. And I can get my foot to pop almost every time doing this. And then you stand on one foot, shake it around. Just the foot. Like, see how my foot looks broken? Like it's not attached? You want to try and get your foot like that. But if your muscles are really tight, it won't shake. Like from wearing shoes that are too tight, that are restricting your foot movement. And then hit the knee like this. Good. And you got to practice your balance, or you're going to break a hip when you're 65 and die. That's surprisingly, that's the #1 cause of death, breaking a hip when you're over 65. So you better get some balance. Don't fall on your ass. And then leg swing, without holding on to anything or anybody. Okay, just swing. That's for the SI joint right there. You just need movement. Okay. And then, now, if you just stand there and feel that foot compared to the other foot, it's different, okay? Then other foot, turn it in and out. We call this joint activation. That's all we do. I have my kids do this every morning. I do this every morning. Before activity, this is all I do. And then, shake the foot out. I learned this from a guy named Tim Adams, who trains all the football teams, stuff like that. He took the LA Kings from 60% injured preseason to 0 in 2 years by doing joint activation. And then knee, 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 knee. And then swing that leg, swing the leg. There you go. Swing it. There you go. There you go. Get that stuff moving. And then bring that hip up with legs straight. Hips up, and then hip circles, circles. If any of the movements hurt, don't go into it. Like if you go like this and it hurts back there, make your hip circles smaller. Guys have a real hard time doing this movement. And then other way, big hip circles. Yeah, when I go for a hike and I'm out in like Runyon Canyon, I feel super weird doing this. Everybody's walking by me and I'm like, moving. Okay, and then you just bend forward and up, forward and up. This is hips and lower back, hips and lower back.
Are you straight?
I keep mine slightly bent, you know. And if your hamstrings are tight, it's better if you bend your knees. Just bend, bend, bend. Okay, and then you go side to side. Side to side. If it pinches anywhere, don't go into the pinch. Okay, then you do some tight with the arms up like this first. That kind of focuses it more lower back. And then I let the arms go. You might want to watch out. Now, if you don't have time to do this, I'm going a little bit longer because I'm explaining, but really it just takes 2 minutes. If you don't have time to do this whole thing, just do this one. That's it. This does almost everything in the whole body. And then shake the wrists out. Wrists are hinges. They're not meant to do circles. So just front to back. Just shake the crap out of them like this. Especially if you use your hands like I do. And just shake them, shake them, shake them. And then hands together like this, palms together. Fingers straight. Heel, palm and fingertips together. Fingers straight. Fingers straight. So heel, palms together. Just do a small one if your fingers are really tight. Okay? Fingers straight. Fingers straight. Fingers straight. This is a hard one, but this is really important if people have carpal tunnel, numbness in their fingers, and then you can open it, and then the goal is to be able to bring it down like this while you're still opening it up. I do these because my hands are pretty important, and so that's how you get your hands mobilized. Elbows. Get the circles with the elbows. You're trying to get them to pop, okay? And then bate, chocolate. And then up. Stir the hot chocolate. Then big circles. Big circles. Now shoulders for your traps. Shoulders. I don't know. And then you go, yes. If it pops, it's fine. Yes, I do. 12. And then no. Now careful on this one because it may pinch. If you go this way and it pinches here, don't go that far. But this is the one that you can get a lot of popping. Maybe. And then the most important one, this is for headaches, base of the skull, ears, and jaw. Double chin. Okay, so that's it. That's all you gotta do before exercise. That warms up every single joint in the whole body. That's called joint activation. Stretches go great. Yes, so that's the joint activation. Now,
Yeah, how do we see this video later on?
we'll email you all this stuff, so you don't need to take notes or pay attention. Now, that's basically the trauma. Now, toxins, which I know a lot of, because I put a lot into my body over the years, and still I'm not perfect. I like to have some fun here and there, but like toxins come in all different forms. They come in like anybody ever have a hangover? Nope. Besides me? Okay. So that's a toxic cause for a headache because you put a toxin in your body and it created a headache. So like if you have a toxic headache, you can't do this out of it. That's not gonna fix it, because that's a physical thing. You did a chemical thing to your body, so that's why it's important to be able to differentiate where your symptom is coming from. So there's a lot of foods that can cause inflammation to your body, such as sugar. Not saying don't ever eat sugar. It's just if you're in pain, don't eat sugar. White flour turns into sugar in the body. Wheat is gluten, which is very inflammatory. Like this lady who came to me today, she's like, I'm hurting so bad. All I'm doing is eating matzo ball soup, and matzo balls it's gluten. It's a gluten ball. That's all it is. It's like just a ball of inflammation. And then dairy can be very inflammatory and mucus forming. That's it. So just stay away from those inflammatory foods. In our house we do 80-20. So 80% of the time we eat perfect. That way it allows us, if we want to eat some genetically modified Cheesecake Factory or whatever, it's okay because we can get it out of our bodies. So if you're inflamed or if you're in pain, we just cut. Even fruit is inflammatory. Bananas are inflammatory because there's so much sugar. Papayas, anything with a lot of sugar is inflammatory. Not saying don't eat it, but when you're in pain, don't eat it. Like my weak link is beer, pizza. Beer has a lot of gluten in it. Pizza, Chicago pizza. So Lou Malnati's in particular, we have it flown in from Chicago, frozen, and it's delicious and buttery and gluten-y and cheesy. And then butter toffee peanuts, which is sugar. So those are my 3 weaknesses. And when I eat it, tastes delicious, but it takes 4 days for my wrists and my hands to stop hurting. Because it just sits in my joints, and I wake up the next day, I'm like, oh, I think I have arthritis in my fingers. And that's just inflammation from diet and nutrition stuff. So I still like to enjoy, like I'm in Texas right now, and I eat the barbecue and barbecue sauce and like there are breweries everywhere, and like I'm like, oh, okay, just 1 day a week I'll just do a little bit and I pay the price the next day. If I eat dairy, I can't breathe the next day. If I drink a beer, I can't breathe because I get all sinusy and inflamed. So those are some of the stuff that I like to avoid, but we still have fun with it once in a while. Now these are the things that are off limits 100%. Like my family is not allowed to touch anything from any of the families of this. So the reason why is because this stuff, oh, this one makes me sad, but
Oh, yeah.
this stuff is
Yeah.
food these days. Like I was just talking, like we're just talking, like food when you grew up. There's no such thing as organic because no one messed with the food chain. But now it's like you have to look real small. And this is hilarious because Lucky Charms, same great taste, same recipe, and it's gluten free. But then it contains bioengineered food ingredients.
Oh,
So
shoot.
what they're doing with this bioengineered food is it's the corn in here, and basically what they're doing is they have this modified corn. They modified the DNA so the corn can't replicate itself. Like you're supposed to be able to grow corn, take a kernel, plant it, and then it grows again. That doesn't happen anymore. And also they've actually infused the corn with bug killer. So if a bug eats it, the bug's stomach explodes. And so they've changed the DNA of the corn, and it doesn't match humans anymore. So now, like, people with cancer, it's like, why does everybody have cancer? Like, we've been fighting cancer forever, and everybody still has it. Like, 20 years ago, I had one patient that had cancer. Now, like, we have, like, every week, someone has some kind of weird cancer in their body. So the body is very smart. And when we eat a foreign substance like this, or this bioengineered foods, it's just so sad. Like Halloween, I was munching on my kids' M&Ms. I'm like, oh, let me read the, oh no, bioengineered. This is the last pack of M&Ms you'll ever have. So Trader Joe's does a great job of replacing this stuff. Pringles, bioengineered. Like it's all corn is bioengineered. It's genetically modified. They changed the genes. So the body's smart. We eat this genetically modified food, and it comes in. The body's like, what the hell is that? Takes it, and it protects us from it. And what it does, it takes all these weird bioengineered cells, puts it in a little ball, puts a seal around it, and that's a tumor. And that's cancer. But that's the body's way of protecting ourselves from that cancer. And then, let's see if it's cancerous. Someone sticks a needle in this ball of poisonous cells and then pops it, like they did with my aunt who had bladder cancer. Popped it, spread all over her whole body, and she died within a year.
Wow.
Like, just the way you look at things, the body knows what it's doing. It doesn't need a lot of help from like outside sources. I haven't been to a doctor. I had to go to a doctor for my knee like 15 years ago. I don't go to doctors, and I had to get snipped this year. So that was the other one. But those are only doctors. I don't go to doctors because they can't teach me nothing about health. Like they don't teach people about health. They're trained in sickness. Like if someone's going to die, that's where you go. And then here's a couple pills to try to get you to not die that you take temporarily. That's what's supposed to happen, but it doesn't. And so we stay away from corn. Anything with corn, we stay away from genetically modified. So, like look up a rat eating GMO potatoes. Look up that one. Is that on the email? Oh man,
What?
it's messed up. Rats eating GMOs, and just look that up later. And then they're like, oh yeah, that looks fine for humans. Okay, go ahead. And so the other stuff we stay away from, the corn syrup. That's what's in this. That's the genetically modified corn. Instead of sugar, they're putting corn syrup in there. That's not this doesn't fit with our DNA. So it's not a matter of, it's sugar or corn syrup or the bad coloring. We don't eat food that doesn't match our DNA, so we don't eat genetically modified foods like that. And like that stuff can't like you can't build muscles and tissues and stuff with, genetically modified foods. And then, okay, so let me replace this Coca-Cola. I'm gonna be healthy, and I'm gonna start drinking some water. One of the most sold waters on the planet. Purified water, Dasani. You think you're doing something good for your body, but then let me see what these ingredients say. Potassium chloride. I'm like, damn, that sounds familiar. Where did I hear that? Oh, that's the third drug administered in a lethal injection when they kill you, because it stops your heart. But I think it's okay for humans in small quantities. Like, how do you put that in water? This is just tap water that they cleaned up and it tastes like shit, so they put stuff in there to try to make it taste better. So anything that says enhanced with minerals for a pure, fresh taste, stay away from that. Okay? We do spring water. Anything spring water is pretty safe, except one Arrowhead Child's container where they add fluoride. I don't know. So we do Mountain Valley spring water here. We try to get it in glass because you leave the plastic in there. Was that Celine Dion or something got cancer from drinking too much heated plastic water in Vegas where it's hot as hell. So we try to keep it in glass. If we buy plastic, and I leave it in the car, it's trash after that. So we stay away from them. We're full-on water snobs. Now, you know what not to put into your body. And I used to drink diet soda. Like I was no saint. I lived right here and the Bally's was right here. And I would stop at that 7-Eleven. I would buy a 2-liter of Diet Pepsi, and I would take 2 ephedrine pills, a caffeine pill, an aspirin, and I'd chug the Diet Pepsi before I got to the gym 1 block away. But I was ripped, and I thought being ripped was like healthy. You know, I must be healthy because I'm ripped, but I was putting all this crap in my body. So I'm still paying for it. So what do I do to clean it out? So now that you know you've put a bunch of shit in your body, we don't do like we're going on a juice cleanse, or sometimes we do that, but we're more into like just daily detoxing. Like every day, we start my day with this coffee, this bulletproof coffee. We put fat in it, healthy oils, and it's a form of intermittent fasting. So when you don't eat sugar throughout the morning, your body burns all the glycogen in your muscles, and sugar is what feeds cancer. So if you intermittent fast, you ain't getting cancer. It's just a cancer killer. We just had a patient who had cancer last year. A doctor wanted to do radiation and all that crap. I'm like, let's try a different route. And she just came back last week cancer-free. Just mental space, all kinds of stuff. So there's other ways, but this is just how our family functions. So we do a daily detox. My kids, you might have seen them drinking shakes in the morning. So basically we'll start with coconut water. You can use milk, but we only use raw milk if we do. And then,
No, baby.
so we'll do coconut water, and then I'll give you a little sample of this. And then, can I turn this on without it blasting? This isn't my Vitamix, so. There we go. Protein, proteina. So we got spirulina, which is a detoxifier, and it helps with digestion. Chlorella, which detoxifies heavy metals, which is in our air, aluminum. We won't even get into all those lines and stuff in there. So yeah. So chlorella is, if I were to just take one supplement, I'm not really into vitamins and crap, but if I were to take one thing, it's chlorella. That's it. You know, we usually sell it, but we're out of it. But so chlorella. We'll throw in some collagen protein. Collagen is what repairs tendons and muscles, and it's hard to get from just vegetables. You know, you got to either eat. It comes from. There's a lot in bone broth. When I hurt my back when I was training for the deadlift record, I couldn't walk, and so I switched. I only drank bone broth for 7 days, and I was deadlifting in 7 days. I couldn't walk. Okay, so collagen protein, we use bulletproof because I've tasted every protein there is, and that's the best, right there. And then what else do? We do some ginger, fresh ginger. Yeah, you can take the capsules, but I like to get it from the source. You have to peel the ginger and chop it, or else it won't blend. Turmeric, you can just throw it in there like that. You don't need to chop or peel it at all. So that's that. What else we got? Coconut oil, healthy fats. Our bodies, we've trained our bodies to run off of. My family we're fueled by fat mostly. We don't eat a lot of sugar, and when you eat fat in the morning, you don't have sugar cravings. So we run by fat. When I did the deadlift record, all I drank was, for 20 hours, I drank this with oil and sea salt. I didn't eat anything. I didn't eat bananas and Coca-Colas and all that crap.
When you say oil, what type of oil are you referring to?
Coconut oil. Yeah, that
Okay.
oil right there.
Coconut oil.
And then organic spinach, baby spinach, baby kale you can't taste. Regular kale you can taste. That's the oil that we
Okay.
use in here and in the coffee. And then we'll throw some small berries. Have very low sugar, so we use blueberries, great for the eyeballs too. Good. And honey, even though it's sugar, it's an immune booster. So this guy Bernardo Lapallo that lived to 117, he ate honey every day. This is one of his superfoods for immunity. So this is the only sugar we'll really put in there. For you guys, I'm actually gonna throw you a bone and throw a banana in there too. That way you eat
Not
it.
with the mask.
Yeah. So this is, it's really important your fruit because, I mean, does anybody like bug spray on their food? So you got to look at these labels. This one starts with, organic food starts with 9. 9 is fine. Okay, you probably know that by now. 4, like this guy, we drop it on the floor. It's trash. We won't even eat that because it's been sprayed with bug spray, and I ain't putting that in my body. And bug spray eats holes in your stomach. So is it worth paying the 50 cents extra for the organic? I think so. You either pay the grocer now, or you're going to be paying the doctor later. Maca, one of my favorite, is a testosterone booster for men. And the reason why it's my favorite, though, is it balances hormones in women. That's why it's my fourth favorite. Okay. Maca.
M-A-C-A.
Goji berries. These are to extend life, apparently. We'll see. And then, I'm missing cacao. Oh, right here. Cacao, that guy Bernardo Lapallo, and almost every person over 100 that's self-sustaining, they eat chocolate almost every day. Cacao has the most antioxidants of any food on the planet. So chocolate is actually good for you. Even milk chocolate has some healing aspects in it. But, you know, we got chocolate here too, so help yourself. The lady who lived the longest ever lived to 126. She ate a kilo of chocolate per week, which is about probably 10 of these bars every week.
Wow.
She was onto something.
Yeah.
Belgian chocolate.
I had a teacher with chocolate too. He lived 101, 102
Yeah,
years.
chocolate, man. Eat it. And then we stuff it with,
Just not M&M.
yeah, not that
Pure
one.
chocolate.
Not genetically modified. There you go. And then we stuff it with spinach. You won't even taste it. Hit it. If you don't have one of these good blenders, it's going to be rough. So this is, I like to call this my mask. Like this is how I protect myself. Like that's why I don't need this. This ain't gonna do nothing compared to this. Like which, if you're gonna be like, okay, let me see, which one's gonna protect me from any virus? Not that. Let me put this on and then go drink my soda. So, okay, so let me taste it to make sure it's okay. It's good. Not bad. All right. So here. Where's it going? Huh? There we go. Let's just pour you around. Yeah. This is how we party now. Green shakes. Yeah. Huh? Yeah, you're not gonna mess it up. Okay, so you can finish that. So let's where's okay, so let's check this out. What's up, man? All right, so missing anything? So that's toxins. That's how we. That's just. I drink my coffee in the morning, burn off all my sugars. That's lunch. I usually work out, and then that goes into my body after lunch. And then I'll drink a green juice, eat a light dinner, drink another green juice, and I'm done eating. I don't have to think. It's automated. Like every day, people are stressed out because they can't figure out what the heck to eat. And then they're like, I'll just drive through this place. It's kind of crappy, but so I just automate my life. 5 days a week, and then on the weekends you have some fun. So, the last thing, probably the most important thing for people is stress, thoughts. That's the heart attack every Monday. So, what I like to do to fight stress, and there's lots of ways you can fight stress. Okay. Is it okay? Not bad, right?
Oh, it's good.
For all that green crap I put in there and all that weird stuff.
I'll take another.
It's not bad, right?
Wow.
Yeah, that's what my kids drink every morning. Not every morning. Saturday and Sunday they can have like pancakes or a donut or something like that. But Monday through Friday, that we can control that.
Benji, what was the one that you said is the number one chlorophyll or what?
Chlorella.
Chlorella. What does that do?
It detoxifies your body, cleans the shit out. Especially if you smoke. Okay, good. So the last thing that I like to do, so stress, people, the way I fight stress is like this. BAM! Oh. Breathing, affirmations, and meditation. Breath work, affirmations, and meditation. So, we're going to start with breath work. Has anybody done breath work before? It's breath work, it's very powerful. And breath work isn't like meditating. It's an exercise. So, can you get them seats? Because I don't want them passing out when they do it. So, we're going to do a breath work called Breath of Fire. We're going to do a minute or two, and this is how I energize myself in the morning. I'll do it in the car. You only need to do it for 1 minute. But there's a place up here called, I gotta take something from my memory. Unplug.
Yeah.
They do breath work classes there, and you do this. You do what I'm going to give you for an hour, and it's like I've done a lot of drugs before, a lot of mind-altering stuff. Mushrooms, I forgot mushrooms too. And when I do breath work, it's better than any drug that I've ever done. It's amazing. Last time I did breath work, and there was a sound bath, which messes with your brain, and like he hit a gong, and I went into outer space, and I saw stars, and I'm like, that's weird. And then I opened my eyes, and I'm still in space. I'm like, damn, that is a trip. And so, breath work is super powerful, and what I want you to do is just put your feet down, and I want you to sit back because you can get a little lightheaded. And the breath work we're going to do, it's a 3-part breath. And basically, you breathe in. We breathe normal. We chest breathe. It goes into our chest. But what we're going to do is we're going to go, and then we're going to breathe up a little deeper into our belly. And then you're going to push it out. So you go. You might want to put your hand on your chest and your belly so you actually know that you're doing it. And so we're just going to do this a few times. We're going to start slow, but you're going to go. You're not going to breathe through your nose at all, and you're not going to lick your lips when your mouth gets super dry. And you're just going to keep going. So you might want to close your eyes, but follow me. In, contract your stomach. Your mouth's getting dry. Getting a little dizzy. Keep going. Breathe in deeper. Push out harder. Harder. Faster. Three more. Breathe in slow through your nose. Breathe out slow through your mouth. Drop your arms. Breathe in slow through your nose. Breathe out slow through your mouth. Breathe in for 5 seconds. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it for 5. Breathe out slow for 5. 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in slow for 7. 2, 4, 6, 7. Hold it for 7. 4, 5, 6, 7. Breathe out for 10. 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. Push it all out. Now just take a couple normal breaths. Just breathe out. You might be able to feel something tingling. Open your eyes. The body feels. Does anybody feel different?
Sensational.
Yeah, like tingly. Anybody? I feel tingly. That was literally a minute and a half. About. It's nothing. And for stress, it's the fastest way to de-stress because A, you're worried about passing out, and B, you can't think about your bills and life and all that crap that surrounds us. Like you have to disconnect to do this breath work. So I do a little breath work first thing in the morning. Or what better? Oh, COVID hits your lungs. What better way to make your lungs stronger than do breath work? Like we don't use our lungs. Like the lungs are powerful, and you can just make yourself high just by doing that real quick. Anybody been high before? No. Okay. So nobody. Okay, just me. And so that's breath work.
My mom's here, I can't answer that.
Oh yeah. Well, you knew him.
Yeah.
So the second thing I like to do is, and it sounds corny as hell, and it did to me first, is positive affirmations. And before you say anything though, we say negative affirmations all the time, like it's fine. I'm always late. I always get sick. I'm no good at math. I got a bad shoulder. Like, we spit those out all the time. And everybody think that's fine to say, but whatever comes out of your mouth, your brain hears it. And guess what? If you keep saying you're bad at math, there ain't no way you're ever going to get good at math if you're talking shit about yourself all the time. So I think it works, and I do it every morning with my family. And I think it makes me feel good in the mornings when I do positive affirmation. So I'm going to take you through some of my positive affirmations. So I want you to say them. And I say these in the car too, like by myself, and people must think I'm nuts, and that's fine. So I want you to say them and do what I do when I say them. So ready? Repeat after me. My body is a healing machine.
My body is a healing machine.
My body heals easily and effortlessly.
My body heals easily and effortlessly.
Viruses bounce off me.
Viruses bounce off
I can't even get sick.
I can't even get sick.
It's crazy. I'm so healthy.
It's crazy. I'm so healthy.
I am a rhinoceros.
I'm a rhinoceros.
I have a damn the COVID attitude.
I have a damn COVID attitude.
I'm full of energy.
I'm full of energy.
And I can't wait to wake up in the morning.
I can't wait to wake
up in the morning to start charging. I am great.
I am great.
Okay, let's try it again. I am great.
I am great.
I am great.
I am great.
I am great. Does anybody feel worse? It's corny, but it makes me happy. In my family, me and my girls, they have all that stuff memorized. We have a prayer we say, and we say that whole rhino thing, and that's just a good way to root yourself. First thing in the morning, say that instead of going on to Facebook or Instagram, and then you see, oh, look at everybody's perfect life. Look at all these people dying. Oh, I better stay inside today. So yeah, that's no way to start your day. This is like we don't do phones. We put them on the sleep mode thing, and we don't get to turn them on until we journal, read our affirmations, do our joint activation, and exercise. And then for a reward, we'll go on Instagram for 10 minutes or something like that. You know, we don't wake up and poison our brains with that stuff. So that's our little affirmation, and I think we have a bunch printed out too that will email you. You know, but you can just look online. Just whatever resonates to you. You know, it's like our affirmation this week is I'm an effective communicator. How do you know you're not communicating effectively when people say what? What? Okay, so that's our affirmation. Every week we have a positive affirmation, and it's written on the board right when you walk in. You probably haven't seen it. And so the last thing we do is meditate, and this is the hardest one because no one wants to make time to meditate because you think you have to do it for 15, 20 minutes to get the benefits. But I started about 8 years meditating. 1 minute a day. I'm like, I can commit to 1 minute. And so I did it in my car. I was like, I can squeeze a minute in. And then the next year, I'm like 2. Okay, next year, 3. Next year, 4, 5. And then now we do 10 minutes, no matter what, every day. If we have more time, we'll do more because we do an app called Calm. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's amazing. It's like $80 a year or something.
Yeah, I heard it's free for everybody in LA right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
That's
it's
great.
A new thing.
Yeah, and it's like, if you can't sleep, it's got great sleep stories like Matthew McConaughey. Hello, I'm Matthew McConaughey. I'm going to read you a bedtime story. Lights out. I'm like, yeah, this is weird. And then, but the girl in the morning, every morning, it's a 10-minute meditation. Our kids listen to it. I make my kids, they wake up, they stand on the nails, and I make them they all lay on this, and they listen to a meditation for 10 minutes every morning. Like, that's how we start our kids' days. And so, I'm going to take you through one of my meditations if you don't want to. The calm ones are great, but if you're like me and my brain is going all the time and you're thinking about, just think of nothing. And then all of a sudden you're planning your whole day out. Okay, what am I going to do after this? I got to eat. What am I going to eat? Oh, come back. Okay. So I like to do what's called a guided meditation. And it's fun for me because I get to do whatever I want. So what I like you to do is put your feet on the ground. And when we meditate, I like to put our hands open. And the same reason people don't like to sleep on their backs, they don't like to put their hands open because it's vulnerable. But when your hands are open like this, you can receive. You can't receive this way. Impossible to receive this way. So we put our hands up like this because you can receive whatever it is you want to get. And so I haven't done this posture part in a long time, and sometimes this can get a little crazy. So go ahead and just close your eyes, okay, and sit back, and then just take a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Okay, and you're in your body right now. We're all in this room right now. But I want you to imagine that there's no roof on this building that we're sitting in. And it's a beautiful day out. It's nice and cool. It's not too crazy. And we want to go for a little trip together. And so the first thing we need to do is we need to shed this big thing of flesh. And so what I want you to imagine is that you're light. You're very light, weightless, and you're starting to float off of your seat just a little bit. And there's something weighing you down though. It's like something's pulling you down by your shoulders. And so you levitate, you push some boosters on a little bit, and you start floating up a little bit higher. And you can feel whatever's holding you down on your shoulders is starting to slip over your shoulders, down the sides of your arms. It's going down by your elbows. Your hands just popped out, and it's holding you by your thighs and your knees. It's like someone's grabbing onto your feet. And so you gotta float just a little bit higher, and your feet are free now. And you're floating freely, and you look down, and in your seat is your body, but your spirit is floating. And so you look around, all the people that are in here with us, all their spirits are floating with us. And we're gonna go on a little trip down Santa Monica Boulevard. So we're gonna float out of the roof, and we're in like a big spirit gang. And we're floating down Santa Monica Boulevard over the traffic. We're a little higher than the smog. The smog's under us, and we're cruising by. We see the hospital on the right-hand side, and we pray for the people that are in there to get out safely. We're glad it's there, but we're never going to visit because our bodies are healthy. And we're going to keep cruising down, and we see the ocean line in the distance, and we're coming up quick on it. It's a beautiful sunset over Malibu. You see the clouds. It's an orange sunset. The water's sparkling. There's a lot of families on the beach right now too. And so let's go cruise down to the beach. We're gonna float down to the beach. And I want everybody to find a family on the beach. Let's all go find a family just to observe. And we're gonna get closer and closer. And then you see in that family that there's kids playing, they're getting dirty, they're having fun, life is normal. And some kids are just sandy from head to toe, and they're throwing sand at each other. Everybody's having a good old time, building sand castles. The parents are talking, enjoying each other. Some are reading, some are looking at their phones because that helps them relax them, phone to face. And then you cruise a little bit closer, and you make eye contact with one of those children. And that child looks back at you, and that kid looks so familiar. And you look that kid in the eyes, and you realize that kid is you when you were a child, having fun. And that kid, he has a little message for you. He says, don't be afraid, live your life, and don't forget to have some fun. Start having some fun. Looks back down, continues playing. You receive that message because your hands are open. And then we float back. It's time to go back. We've been gone long enough. So we're gonna cruise down Santa Monica Boulevard. And then we're gonna come down, we're coming down to about 20th Street. And all of us, we're gonna land on the sidewalk. But now, we've transformed our bodies into rhinoceroses. And we're big, bad ones too. And we're knocking cars out of the way. We're going down the center of Santa Monica Boulevard. We're using our horns to push cars out of the way. People honking and rude, we push them out of the way. Some people are nice, we go around their cars. But the rude people, we push out of the way, we stomp on their cars. We're having a good old rhino parade. And we come up to Santa Monica Boulevard, we barrel up the stairs, and we go back into our spirit bodies at the top of the stairs because we gotta go in through the roof. So we float back over the roof. Okay, everybody spot your body down there in your chair. Okay, and then I want you to stand in front of your body, and you're standing looking at yourself, and you realize you don't want to be a corpse going through this life. You got to live it. You could be dead there, or you could be that spirit floating away, or you can put that spirit back in this body and do what you've always been procrastinating. So you turn around, you sit on your body's lap, and you infuse your soul back into your body slowly. And now you're back in your body. Now to know you're back in your body, take a deep breath. Okay, and I want you to wiggle your toes a little bit. Yeah, we're back in our body. Okay, straighten your legs, roll your feet a little bit, crack your knees. Good. Wiggle your fingers a little. Relax your face. Relax your face. Wiggle your fingers. Move your wrists. Straighten your elbows a little. Shrug your shoulders. And I want you to sit up nice and straight. Good. Shrug your shoulders up. Then do a quick yes, just to get the things that stiffened up. Quick no. Maybe. Stick your tongue out. And then slowly open your eyes. Oh, and you're back. 5 minutes we just did. Just like that. It goes quick. And your body's relaxed. And your blood pressure is lower just by meditating. There's so many health effects that you can't get from doing physical stuff and feeding yourself right. Like, this is a whole nother dimension. You could be eating perfect. You could be doing everything I ask, sitting, sleeping right. But if you don't manage your stress, it can kill you. It'll take years off your life. And so it's important to manage the stress. None of this stuff can be overlooked. You got to put yourself first, before everybody else. It's like that in the plane. Oh, put your mask on first before. Oh, no, now it's like take your mask off, then put your mask on, and then you can help someone else. Like, if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anybody else. So you're the most important person in this life. And so, thank you for coming. I appreciate you guys. If anybody needs help, I like people who are screwed up. Like, it's my favorite. Like, I had, man, the worse the better. Like, this is one lady, she came to me, her husband came, and she had all these problems. And $200,000 in medical tests, MRIs, CT scans, and they couldn't figure out what was wrong. She couldn't have babies, she was depressed, she was in pain all the time. And her husband drove her from Riverside 4 days a week for 4 months. He drove her here to get adjusted, drove her back, then he drove back here to work for 4 months, 4 days a week. And within 4 months, she comes in with this box. This is still the box that has her name on it. And she's all, I don't need these anymore.
Wow.
And this is like a 1 month supply of her drugs. You can't do this to somebody. That's murder. Like, if anybody, here, let me give this to you. You try and take all of those in 1 month, and you may be dead. Like, and this is so common these days. Like, people taking drugs, like, thinking that this stuff fixes anything. It doesn't fix anything. This is meant to keep you alive while you figure out the problem, Like, no drugs fix the problem. That's why I don't think vaccines, those don't fix the problem. You can't be 500 pounds and take a vaccine and be safe. You're dead either way. You gotta do this stuff right. So, like, this is common, and it's over 65. The average person is on 4 medications. This is another lady. She couldn't walk, and she went to UCLA for a year, and this is her drugs that she takes for a couple of weeks. It's like, this is a solution. Chiropractic's more than just popping bones and getting out of pain. It's a lifestyle of getting this body healthy and keeping it healthy. That's why chiropractors we're so fanatic about all this stuff and being healthy. So, if you know someone that needs us, usually we charge $175 for someone to come in and get x-rays and get adjusted. If you want to refer someone through next week, we'll do it all for free. Wow. Just next week. So send them in. We'll take care of them. If we can help them, we will. So, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you,
Dr.
Dr.
Yeah.
You're the best.
Very funny.
I worked out a minute.
Right. There's a little sushi.